everyone, and welcome to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday, right here in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago, we chat with local authors about their love for the literary arts and the written word. We speak to publishers and we also speak to booksellers. We bring you in connection with the publishing industry stakeholders. And it is a wet and overcast day here in Tobago. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but I hope you're staying dry, staying safe. And for those in the Caribbean, our regional brothers and sisters across the Caribbean, even if you're in the diaspora and have family still in the Caribbean, we wish you all the best, especially Grenada, Carriacou especially, as well as some parts of St. Vincent. We wish you the best. We're sending all the help that we can muster. The Caribbean must stick together, and we know that you have been hard hit by the hurricane. We urge those who are in the Caribbean and in the path of the hurricane, because I'm hearing it's heading to Jamaica, to please get as prepared as you can. Get your water, get some, get yourself tuned into the news, get your batteries, get yourself sorted out, charge up your devices, because we know during these times, electricity outages are, the order of the day. So get your devices charged up. If you have to get data on your phone, or you have to put, a top up on your phone so you can call friends and family, if you can, do everything you can to be prepared for this hurricane season, because it's going to be a serious one. Climate change is real, guys. It's happening, and we in the Caribbean are always acutely affected by it. So with that being said, we want to get into Book Club Corner today, and those of you who are able to join us today, we want to introduce to some and present to others an author who is none other than Portia Subran. And Portia is the 2024 Commonwealth Short Story Caribbean Regional winner. She's the 2022 BCLF, that's the Bocas Lit Fest, short fiction story contest finalist, and the 2019 Cecil DeJean Literary Prize winner, as well as the 2016 Small Axe Literary Short Story winner, the 2011 and 2013 Hot Bake Productions Caribbean Short Story winner. Welcome, Portia.
Hi.
Hi, we're so happy to have you here with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, and thank you so much for having me today.
We're very happy to have you. Congratulations to you. I'm hearing, it's a winning literary household you're coming from, yes?
Yeah.
So congratulations to you,
yeah.
and to the author of The Hungry Ghost, Kevin, yes? We want to talk to you about your book, about winning, about how it's affected you, about authorship, and get into all that great stuff. But before we do that, you all know how we do it on Book Club Corner. We always have a little sip and chat, and today we have, thanks to Jofield Wines again, I have here in studio sweet potato wine. And I know Portia is drinking some tea. Portia, what kind of tea are you sipping on this cold and wet day?
The tea that I'm having, well, this is my little teacup.
Oh, how cute.
The tea that I'm having is called English Rose. And it's from a company I like called the Wizard of Chelsea. So it's like a really special tea that I like. It has like real rose petals and stuff in it. So
pops. Well,
nice. Yeah.
Cheers to you and your tea, Portia. But I'm having some sweet potato wine. Let me tell you, I can't wait to get into all that we have in store. But we do the 5 S's of wine tasting on Book Club Corner. We support the local winemakers, we support local industry and entrepreneurs. And we have this, let me tell you, it's really pretty. And it's complementing my outfit, as you can see. So
For real?
we swirl the wine, right? That's the first S. And then we look at the wine. We look at the wine for the legs when we swirl it. We look at the viscosity and we look at the clarity. And then we sniff the wine. This has a really nice sweet scent. It's really, really... And then we sip and we savor. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. We have a winner. Sabrina, I have to try and get a bottle of the sweet potato wine to you. I don't know how we're going to do it, but by next week you'll have some sweet potato wine to sip on and show off on all who in your household, right? We're going to go on a short break, guys. Get your snacks, get your drinks. Come back with us as we chat with local author, winner of the Commonwealth Short Story Prize. That's Portia Sobran. We're going to speak with her as we come back from this break. Don't change your channel and don't go far. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard. Nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, a festival of dancing, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Dance in with DNA, our 11th edition, Saturday, July 6th at 5 p.m., Shore Park Cultural Complex. Featured in this year's lineup, Assemblyman Trevor James, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit, Mrs. Diane Baker Henry, Miss Davia Chambers, Miss Leslie Ann Ellis, and Miss Sinel Dempster. Limited early bird tickets. Adults $150. After party only $100. Children pay $75 at the door. You don't want to miss this one. Get your tickets early from Dance Ensemble class members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford 24 Gas Station Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, contact Nikisha White at 772-9049 or Nelisa Dick 340-5758.
It's a different type of thing down there. What? And we party till we drop down there. Right. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
And welcome back viewers across Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. And if you're watching on Amplia 102, wherever you may be in Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica or Curacao, welcome to Book Club Corner. Today we're chatting with the amazing award-winning author Portia Subran. And we're going to be seeing just a clip of some of her work and her journey into this Commonwealth short story submission.
My name is Portia Subran, and I am from Chaguanas in Trinidad and Tobago. Growing up in Chaguanas has influenced my writing a lot. Since my great-grandparents came to Trinidad as indentured laborers, 4 generations of Subrans have lived in Chaguanas. And from the stories of my parents, my aunts, and my uncles, I saw that Chaguanas is always a place that is in flux. The short stories and poems that I write are mostly set in Chaguanas during the 1900s and today, and it reflects its ever-changing landscape. A lot of old talk and conversations have infiltrated this story, but one memorable moment I have as a child, current had cut off, and while we were waiting for TNTech to come and give us back the lights, my father told us the story of how electricity first came to Chaguanas. They were shown a film called 50 Acres, and it was to illustrate how their lives were going to change. And he spoke to me how incredible it was to see these things for the first time. So I wanted to replicate that experience in this story. If I met my characters, I think I'd be more interested in listening to what they had to say rather than speaking with them. So I've gotten 2 very useful pieces of writing advice. Last year I met with 2 Caribbean poets, and I expressed to them my fear that I'm writing and 50 acres, and it was to illustrate how their lives were going to change. And he spoke to me how incredible it was to see these things for the first time. So I wanted to replicate that experience in this story. If I met my characters, I think I'd be more interested in listening to what they have.
That was such a cute video. You know, you bring to life Chaguanas in a very real way. You know, I love the photos of the market and the vendors, and that's one of the things that the Caribbean is known for. You know, it's market day when you know you have your fruits and your vegetables out and you get your meats. Listen, you bring to life certain things that we may not know about Chaguanas, you know, other than knowing Chaguanas for great deals, right? Because my cousins came from Barbados, and I took one of them to Chaguanas because he said, I have to get a nice sneakers. And I say, oh, good boy. Well, we had to go Chaguanas for good deals, and I took him to Chaguanas. Yeah. Other than good deals and, you know, friendly people and always bustling and some entrepreneurship, you know, what is it about Chaguanas, your home, that really made you feel that you wanted to have this story based in Chaguanas and have the characters based in Chaguanas?
Well, like I was saying in the video, since my ancestors came to Trinidad, we've been living in Chaguanas for the past 4 generations. So that would be from my great-grandparents, my grandparents, and now my parents, and then me and my husband, we live in Chaguanas. And the reason why I wanted to write about Chaguanas is how it has changed so much. So from the stories that my father would tell me, and then watching it transition from when I was a child, and now how it is where I'm an adult and I'm seeing it's like really, really business centered. But sometimes my dad and I would be driving, and he would actually point out to places, and he would say, this building here where they have this big shopping place, this is where it had fields of coconuts. Or where they have this government building, this is where we used to have the bisons come to drink water. And I just love Shogunas, and you're right, the people are very kind. It does have a lot of deals and stuff, but it also is part of my heritage. Yeah.
Hear me, Sabrina. Portia, I'm rechristening you, girl. When
No,
we
I think
talk
like
about
my last name and my
writing,
first name.
yeah, not at all. I can hold my liquor. When we talk about writing, it's a solitary endeavor, and it's a journey into ourselves, out of ourselves, into the community. It's such a journey that brings out certain things about ourselves that we may not even know. While you were writing this short story, right, about these brothers in Shogunas, is there anything that you came, that epiphany about yourself, that self-realization? Did this journey of writing this story bring about any epiphanies for you about yourself, about your community, your family?
Well, I think it's really good that you point out that although writing is solitary, the community influences it a lot. The environment that we're in, it really contributes to the way in which we develop the story. Everything we've experienced, it comes out in the page. So while I was writing, I guess the epiphany I was having was that characters are the most interesting when you sort of put them into a situation where they do something that was totally uncharacteristic for them to do. So it's like we can't predict how a certain incident is going to influence the actions of the character. And I think we're all very vulnerable to our environments, and you never know what is actually going to make you or break you. So I think characters are not black and white. I think people are not black and white. I think we're all shades of gray. We have a good bit of good in us, and we also have some bad in us, but it's really what in the end is going to pull that bad out. Yeah.
That is an important realization that a lot of us don't come to till perhaps later in life, or perhaps never for some, that we as human beings are so multidimensional and so complex. We live on a spectrum. We're not one thing only or another. We kind of live in that extreme from good to bad, and then shades of gray in between. You know what I mean? Based on your intentions.
Yeah.
And we always try to stay in that good side as much as possible, but things happen. You have to react. You have to, and one of the good things about understanding ourselves is self-acceptance. Even if you may not be a Mother Teresa 24 hours a day, you should accept yourself, even for the flaws, and try to do better. You yourself are a multidimensional artist. You don't just write.
Yeah.
You do art as well.
So
And I saw some of your art. It's just phenomenal. And I think we have to share some of your art with the public. Let's have some of your art. I just want to show and tell us what's happening in the art as we're looking at it. Oh, look at this one. What is this? What is this? What is happening here, Portia? This one is so...
So this piece is called Tree Canal, and I drew it after there was, well, you would know, like, we have a lot of domestic violence, and I just wanted to turn the weapon that was used against a lot of women into a sort of like a icon of empowerment. So she's taking that cutlass that is usually used by abusers, and she's wielding it as her own strength, as her own weapon. And that is more or less what it is. And I always put like a lot of greenery or plants, like local plants we'd see around I just try to integrate it somehow, and I usually put in the hair. So that is why it's all verdant and green. Well, not actually green, but full of foliage and plants and stuff.
I really love this piece. That, as my mother used to call it, that puya speaking to me, Portia. Because we had one, after my father passed away, my mother sharpened the puya and put it behind the fridge. And she would remind us it was there on a frequent basis, not to use it on us, but just to say, you don't have to be afraid. We're weaponized in this house, right? We're good. And it was 3 girls and her only in the house after my father passed away. So that puya, let me tell you, we know that features so strongly in Caribbean, life. We use it for everything. If you had to cut a coconut, if you had to cut up mango, you have to do everything with this cutlass. I love that one. Let's see another. Tell us about this one.
So this piece, it's basically what in my mind I call part of my goddess series, where I really think that the environment, the flora, and all of that surrounds us in the Caribbean, it feels so much more than just plants. It feels like something celestial to me. It feels like that is how God shows his love for us in a way. It's not strictly religious, but I feel like there's that kind of spiritual connection between plants and also with women. And I just wanted to really make a goddess completely. Most of her is made up of a lot of foliage, a lot of trees and leaves, and it's just coming down, encapsulating her. So that is how that one is. And it has like banana leaves, and I think it has like the suhari leaves, and in between there all these different vines that give us like fruits and vegetables. So I just wanted to put that into that image.
Let's have the other 2 images, and Portia, you'll tell us about them as well.
Yeah. So this one is about like the light and like fires in the skies, and it's basically a sort of fire deity, and just that feeling you get of a woman being empowered by fire, or just that sort of goddess inside of you, that fire inside of you. And even though she looks very, very serene, it feels very powerful. And there's a lot of because of the brightness of the red and everything, it just feels. I just enjoyed creating it because it gave me that feeling of strength within a woman, and sort of like strength as a goddess, because her eyes are gold as well. So I remember just really, really enjoying this piece, and when it sold, I felt so sad to see it go. But yeah, this one is Fires in the Sky. Really enjoyed doing this one. This piece is my tribute to Robusta coffee, because I know a lot of coffee connoisseurs. They are really into Arabica, and Robusta is what a lot of us would have grown up with like Hong Wing and stuff. So I wanted to make my own version of a coffee goddess. And the model for this is actually my older sister, doll. So I took a photo of her and I sketched it out and I put all this coffee into her hair and then I just put in all the gold foil and the copper foil and just wanted to give her that sort of celestial look of, with the gold in her eyes and then on her mouth. But it really is a tribute to Robusta coffee.
Mm. I really like what you do with your art, Portia. It gives the feeling of peacefulness, but you can see something is brewing, something is happening in the background. And that's how we are as women. We sit quietly gazing into the horizon, but we something is always happening. We're always thinking of what's next, what's happening, and I really love that about your art. I'm seeing some themes running there. Is it the sun or the moon or both as well? And it kind of gives us folklore feel. So I'm going to put a plug out for you, Portia. All those authors who are looking for artwork for your books, if you have, listen, I think Portia could knock it out of the park, whatever you may need. But if you're looking for, this folklore, celestial, kind of feel to the artwork, Portia is the one to call. Portia Subran is her name, and she's not just a short story writer, she's not a novelist, she is also a graphic and visual artist. I love your work, Portia. We're going to go on a quick break, guys. And before we go on a break, I just want to tell you, get your snacks, get your drinks, come and sit with us and chat with us and listen to what Portia has to share with us. When we come back, Portia is going to be talking to us about her win for this Commonwealth short story. We're going to be back with you in a few minutes. See you in a bit.
Innovative, dedicated, impactful. The public service now and beyond. Today we celebrate our stalwarts who have left an enduring legacy on the public service in Tobago. Harold Stewart has served over 40 years in different spheres of the public service. However, his greatest challenge in life came when he assumed duties at the Department of Land Management between 1998 and 2022. Mr. Stewart was part of the team selected to build out the structure and enforce the Squatters Regularization Act in 1988. Though he was met with a lot of hostility, Mr. Stewart says the job at land management taught him the most life lessons and was, for him, most rewarding.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Deltec Distributors Weekend Special Wings Friday, 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT Soup Saturday, 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoke bone. Special $150. Super Sunday, 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltecdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special.
No place like home, home, home.
Oh, I love Tobago, baby.
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon gone sleeping. Tell them we not leaving till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I run in town again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave with all my friends and them. No place like home, home, home. We go jump till the moon come down. It's we who the stars shine on. Play Bahamas and break away. Freedom in we DNA.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, and those who are watching us further afield. We're here on Book Club Corner, right here in beautiful Scarborough. Wet, overcast today, and we're sipping on Joe Field's sweet potato wine while we sit and chat with award-winning author Portia Subran. Thank you for being here with us. And we're back chilling with Portia. Portia, you have so many accolades to date, right? When we were reading out all your accolades this morning, I was like, oh boy, look at thing this girl do now. As a writer, you know, what motivated you to submit your work for these competitions, these writing contests? What was the pivotal moment where you say, you know what, I'm going to submit something? Or did somebody push you to do it? Did you get encouragement, or was it something you wanted to do to share your work?
Well, I think when you're writing so much, you want to get a sort of platform to put it on. And I think competitions sort of help in two ways. You get the platform, but you also get some validation that you're going down the right way with your work. And so I had all these short stories, I had all this work, I also had like all these ideas. So I started looking for competitions, I think around 2010. I had just done a university course with Dr. Mohaj, and I'll never forget that course. It was really life-changing. She really helped me find my voice. And I had all these stories, and there weren't a lot of competitions, but there was one by Potbake Productions. So I sent in my story, and they gather stories for 2 years. So theirs is every 2 years. And when I found out that I won, I couldn't believe it. It was really, really validating. It was really great. And from then I was like, you know, I could do something with all these stories. Like, I may not have enough right now to try and get a publisher. And even back then, I wasn't sure how publishing would work. So I kept on looking for different opportunities. And, well, there was always the Commonwealth one. And then there were other ones like Small Axe, and so has a lot of opportunities as well. And there was recently the Brooklyn Caribbean Lit Fest. They started their competition. So it was just really fun for me to have places to put the work out there, for it to be published online or in a book, in a volume, so that other people could read it and check it out. And it's validating because it helped me write a lot more. It helped encourage me to write.
Listen, you hit on so many important notes as a writer. One, you said, when you're writing so much, and you know, authors out there, I know sometimes your day is busy. I know you may be doing other things beside writing, but have you written today? I'm putting that out to you. Have you written today? Take some time, not just today, but every day. carve out a little time, 10 minutes in a day, if that's all you have. Carve out some time to just write. You know, Portia, I know it's, you know, as writers, I mean, I'm not as prolific as you, but as writers, we always have a hard time trying to find that time, that quiet time when we are inspired, when we feel like the story is right there, like somebody's telling you the story in the back of your mind and you just have to write it down. You know, tell me, for you, what authors inspired you, and do you have a particular style or a particular author that you really liked? You talked about Merle Hodge and the course you did with her and how life-changing that was. But tell us one. What's your favorite book to read? And what inspired you? What author would have put you probably in a, in a mindset to say, I want to write about our Caribbean stories?
Well, definitely. I've always felt like writing, and I always wanted to be a writer since I was 8 years old. And I really think that was a push of my Standard 2 teacher, Miss Rohit. She really, she made reading and writing really fun. But when you ask about what made me want to write about the Caribbean, I don't think I was really writing about the Caribbean until I did my course with Merle Hodge, because she gave me a new appreciation for dialect, and she gave me this this kind of pride in looking at the world and putting it down as I saw it. So I was writing a lot of fantasy things I was reading when I was a teenager, but only when I became an adult, like I guess when I was 18, 19, that is when I really started writing more about Trinidad and more about experiences or observations. But I'd have to say overall my favorite writer, well, since I was a child, is Somerset Maugham. And the way he writes, he is very clever, straightforward, but he also plays with human nature in that way that I love, where people make decisions that are not necessarily the ones you think they should make. And while you're reading, you're probably saying, why are you doing this? What is happening? So if anybody is interested in reading something by Somerset Maugham, I'd recommend The Painted Veil. It's such a beautiful story, and it's set in China, and he really, you think the story is going one way and you think the characters are going one way, but it definitely turns itself on its head coming down to the end. So I think just writers who kind of, I don't know, they just really pull me in with the characters. Those are the ones who I really, really enjoy. And there's another writer I just want to point out. It's Edgar Mittelhauser. And I would recommend A Morning at the Office. And the reason why, when I read this, I had no idea what were a sense of dynamics with colorism and race relations in Trinidad back in the 1940s, because it's set in Port of Spain during one morning at an office, and it was really interesting, and it makes me think that we have come a long way, where we're multicultural, and the way in which we treat each other. I couldn't believe people treated each other like this. But you have to take fiction with a grain of salt. But I thought it was very interesting. Yeah.
It's amazing the way you are able to explain these authors. Now I want to go and get The Painted Veil. I want to go and get it. And you know, we're doing a lot of reviews for the books that we're reading here on Book Club Corner. And I went on Goodreads. And just a plug for Goodreads. You all know I don't work for Goodreads, right? And they don't pay me. But Goodreads is such a good platform for authors to get reviews and for readers to give reviews, because it's one of those platforms that you don't have to have purchased the book to be able to give a reviews, unlike Amazon, right? You could only give a review if you bought something from Amazon. But if you bought a book at a local bookstore, or you got a book at the library, or a friend gave it to you, you can still go on Goodreads and give a review. So I am putting it out there for all our readers. If you're reading a book by especially a Caribbean author like Portia Subran, right? We want you to go on Goodreads platform and give the books that you're reading a rating and or a review. This helps authors, be seen, and it helps readers figure out if they want to read that book. And we want to make sure we promote the Caribbean, we promote our Caribbean voices, and we support our local authors. Portia, tell us where we can get your books, because you write short stories and they're printed and published in anthologies. Where can we get the anthologies that you've contributed to, and give us some of those names? Like Jewels of the Caribbean.
Yeah. So the anthologies I've been in, I feel like they have been quite a bit. So Jewels of the Caribbean is one, and I believe you could get that on Amazon. A lot of them you could get on Amazon. And the most recent one I've been in is Black Light Void. And that one is available in paper-based bookstore, as well as I believe on Amazon. But the interesting thing about that anthology in particular is that it's a lot of really amazing Caribbean writers. You know, there's Barbara Jenkins, and there's also Amilcar Satanan, sorry. And we were all asked to interpret paintings by a single Trinidadian artist, Eddie Bowen. And the things that everybody saw in each painting was really interesting. So I really enjoyed being part of that anthology. There have been some, not quite anthologies, but have been published in the Caribbean Writer as well. And I do believe you have to order those straight from them. But there's also some online platforms that have really great Caribbean writing and have really well curated sort of writing that I would even say is aspirational. So the platform online I like most is Pre-Lit Magazine, and it's based in Jamaica. And everything I read from them, it feels so authentically Caribbean. They have writers from all the islands of the Caribbean, and they do short stories, they do poetry, and they do fiction. And I would say if you want to read some really nicely thought out stories from Caribbean people, you should check out Pre-Lit Magazine online. And if you want to submit, that's great too, and they do themed work. And I would say the good thing about submitting to Pre-Lit Magazine is that even if your work wasn't accepted, they actually give you feedback. And feedback is that is like the most useful thing a writer can have. Just getting feedback and understanding how you can learn to be better and how you can work on your, just the technical part to get your ideas out there.
Mm-hmm. You're so right in terms of that feedback, and it's not just feedback, but not just I didn't like it or I liked it. You really want the person to dig deep and tell you, okay, what about the character you didn't like? What about the story you didn't like? Or what about it that you loved? What spoke to you? You really want that good feedback. And I heard you call Amilcar's name, and shout out to Amilcar. He's also an author, and he's one of the products of the Cropper Foundation Writing Residency. And recently, one of the founding tutors mentors of that writing residency. He passed away yesterday, and that's Professor Fonzie. We want to extend our condolences to his family as well as to the writing and art community, because this is a hard one, guys. This is a hard one. He seemed to have been somebody, I've never met him personally, but I was following him. He seemed to have been somebody who would give you that really good feedback so you'd know what's happening with your work. So condolences. And before we go to break, congratulations again. You know, you're putting Trinidad and Tobago on the map. There is such a thing as literary tourism. And when we as Caribbean people put our stories forth, we do more than just being heard as, oh, that's a Caribbean voice. Oh, coconut trees, oh, banana trees, oh, sunshine. You know, it's more than that. We're really telling our stories and our rich cultural heritage. We're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear some of Portia's work. She's going to be reading from her work for us. So don't move too far. If you have to use the bathroom, go quickly and come back. Portia is going to be reading from her work, and I tell you, it's a real doozy. So see you in a few minutes.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
And And we're back in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago. I hope you're enjoying the weather, those of you who have not been affected by the hurricane and storm watch. And I also hope that those who have been affected are getting the help and the aid and support that you need. And condolences to anyone who has lost anyone recently, whether it's just through the storm watch. Condolences to Professor Fonzie's family. We're getting back to Portia Subran. She's going to be reading for us right now. And let me tell you, get comfortable, ladies and gentlemen. You all know two favorite times of Book Club Corner, when I'm sipping on some wine and I'm getting ready to. So I'm going to get comfortable. Portia, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So I'll be reading from The Devil's Son, which is the piece that won for the Caribbean region for the Commonwealth competition. So I just wanted to read like the first 2 pages, and hopefully you all will go on Granta and you can read the rest of the story there.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing a phrase of music, memory suddenly rises in front of you like the clearing mist of the blue orange, the heavy smoke of a pitch oil flambeau, the smell of rain on warm asphalt in the night, the wail of your father, the silence of your mother. Some nights you will not forget, even though you feel you bury it deep enough, is a brand to the back of your skull, somehow still burning, still on fire, hiding up in layers of flesh, follicles, or web of nerves. Then suddenly it come back to malign your mind with misery and guilt. It's like that for me now. Stick up in traffic on the way to San Fernando, and a radio station start to play a song that knife plunge in my belly. Me I know what old time jockey dig up this old time song from my youth. Gucci Grant's The Way Wind. The song is a pull to my navel string. The way eating the flesh of the armored Cascadura does call you back home to die in Trinidad. That song pull my soul back to Chaguanas, old Chaguanas, from 60 years back. A flood of memories erupting and fighting for the spotlight in my mind. The smell of burning sugar and rotting bagasse. That scent like festering flesh. The splash of cold water from a gleaming copper basin on the days that and sweat rolled through the rows of Woodford Lodge estates looking for adventure. The sizzling crack of a film projector, the unnatural firmness and coldness of the Anglican ceremony, the bellowing bison, his voice vibrating muscles of his neck. The Chaguanas I did only know about was from the 50s, when a talk that started up about electricity coming to the village. Back then it was a village, but we papa, them just call it a borough now. To help me understand what this electricity mean, they had was to set up a Delco generator and a silver screen in the Wood Lodge cricket field to play a film. I can remember that good day, man. Me and my partner Jaikaran had gone down early in the morning to gawk at the equipment. A huge scaffold coming down where the cricket pillars were to be posted, a string of bulbs wrapped around the massive apamat trees, an unfeathered silk screen whipping out in the breeze, and reel of film offloading from a cart. We asked the man, what it have there on them film? He said go show a man's wife tending to a farm with the use of something none of us had, electricity. The film wasn't meant to be science fiction, but it did feel like that to we, because we did live in darkness. If you did forget to light your home flambeau, you was getting sucked into the oblivion every night. Papa did tell me it was a good thing that we was going to get electricity, because the kinda darkness we in, it is let the mind run mad with superstition. Papa was a logical man who did follow the see it and believe it of life. Mommy was the opposite. According to my pa, she find great solace in the greatest superstition of them all, religion. Never see a woman so deeply committed to the tenets of the church and feel she more missionary than parishioner. She favorite story revolve around the evangelizing and conversion of the savages. But here in the Harness, it didn't have no such savages. So she find them in Hugh and Sharon. So y'all can read the rest on Granta.
I love it. It's such nostalgia, such, you know, you yourself, the listener, I felt myself thinking about those things that pulled me back to my childhood, back to my youth, back to, you know, all of these things. You sort of be like, oh, yes, I remember when. I love that about your story. You really, you went deep with that one, and simple things. I mean, there are so many people right now because of this hurricane and storm situation, the weather conditions are now still back in darkness, back without electricity, right? We have to even, you know, so this might help a good few. Listen, don't forget the days of the flambeau, right? If you are without power, don't forget the days of the flambeau and the coconut husk, lighting the coconut husk. My grandmother used to light it and smoke out the house before she shut it up by granny in the evening, you know. These are cultural things that we used to remember, we used to use, and we can go back to it whenever we fall into trouble, right? So bringing that back, you know, sometimes these stories help us. Oh my gosh, it's true. What about the flambeau? Well, you know, as they say in Tobago, the bamboo, go and light a bulife, you know, culture, stories, heritage, our Caribbean voices. Thank you for that, Portia Golden. Thank you so much for that. Guys, you heard it from Portia. Go and get the story yourself. Read the rest. She's not telling you everything. She ain't even giving you the spoilers. So you can't say, but Portia, you tell me everything already. Why go and look for your book? Go and get it. She didn't give you the spoilers. We're heading to the Green Room right now. And the Green Room is a place where we share insights and information with our local authors. And our question for the Green Room today is, drumroll, where else other than Amazon can I get reviews? We gave you the answer earlier, but we're going to tell you again. Amazon reviews are for verified purchasers. Goodreads is an amazing and free platform where readers can rate and review books. Authors can get an author account and use it as one of your social platforms for visibility. So that's the answer. If you are looking to build your reviews, you know, for readers to find you, right, when they're looking for their books, please use Goodreads, guys. I don't work for Goodreads. They don't pay me, but when I see good stuff, I share good stuff. And we've been putting some reviews into Goodreads. A lot of the bookstagrammers use it. But please, it's really meant for authors and readers. So if you're an author, go and get your author account on Goodreads. It's free. If you are a reader, please help and support our local authors. Even if you got the book from a library, go to Goodreads and leave them a review and a rating. Tell them what you liked or didn't like about their book. An honest review is best, right? And we want to support our local authors. Goodreads, that's oneword.com. So go there and get your stuff. And we want to thank our part sponsors for the Green Room. That's Mansa Enterprises, a new bookstore in Calder Hall. And it's a book and stationery store right here in Tobago. And they're open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we want to thank our other part sponsors. That's Caribbean Book Marketing Hub. And they offer book marketing consultations. And they discuss with you where you are in your publishing process, your book sales and marketing goals, and help you set a plan to reach those goals so you can sell the amount of books you need to sell And we have here a book that I've written, and it's being given away, a free gift if you get that book consultation done, right? Get you on the road to marketing your book properly and to get the sales that you want. And don't forget, you don't have to wait until, you press publish to start thinking about marketing your book. It's something that you can start thinking about and working on while you're in that writing process. I want to ask Portia before we head out. Portia, for your books and your stories, tell us one thing that you find has helped you in terms of marketing, promotion, whether it was reviews or whatever it was. Share with our authors and our listeners out there one thing that you think is indispensable for marketing of your book.
Well, I think it would be sort of like this, having like interviews with writers. I think writers need to actually go to physical events because I think hearing a writer read their work, that is what pulls people to sort of go out there and buy the book. So if you can be reading your book at an event, and you don't even have to wait for another entity to have this. You can create your own event. You could go to like the community centers that we have. You organize your own event. You bring out the community. Then you have like sharing the readings on YouTube. Because I find that after I attend a reading, after I hear writers read their work, I am just like, wow, this sounds so amazing. I need to go get this book. And that is how I end up buying so many books and trying, to read them and to get them out there. But say definitely when you read your work at an event and people see how passionate you are about your work, I think they sort of get interested and excited about your work. So that is what I would say. Events and read your work to people. Yeah.
Listen, snaps for that. Portia, that was such good advice. Authors, get out there. I know that many authors, many of us are introverts, right? Some are ambiverts like myself, but many of us are introverts. And, we want to shy away from being seen, and we want to sell the book from behind a curtain, put out your book behind the curtain and say, buy my book. You don't want anybody to see you. But no, we can't do that. Let's drop the curtain, come out into the public, share your work, let people see who you are, inspire another author right here in the Caribbean, in your space, in your community. And Portia is saying, go to your communities, have a community event for community engagement. You don't know how much you can do to encourage another author or to bring together the persons who are potential authors in the community. Portia, we want to thank you for being here with us today. This has been such a rich sharing. I really enjoyed your work. I loved your artwork. I loved your sharing. If you have, as an author out there, if you need book cover artwork or even graphic work for in the novel itself, please check out Portia. She's not just an award-winning author, but she is a fantastic and phenomenal artist. Listen, share this video because we're going to be reposting it to YouTube. You can find it on Tobago Updates YouTube channel as well as their Facebook page. But Book Club Corner also has a YouTube channel. You can go there and catch up on all the episodes. So if you missed anything Portia said, you can see it right there and see her artwork, right? So you don't have to call and say, can I see samples of your work? Go and look at Book Club Corner and you'll see samples of her work, right? And we want to thank you very much. Check us out on our Facebook Book Club Corner page, Instagram and Twitter. Like, follow, and share us. And if you're an author and you want to come to the platform, as Portia suggested, get an interview, just find us on Facebook and call, fill out the author interview form, and get here and share your work. Thank you again, Portia, for being here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for us today. Thank you. That's a wrap for us today. We will be seeing you next week, Wednesday, when we tune into another amazing local author. And as we say, we want to support local authors, entrepreneurs, winemakers, clothes makers. Listen, we cannot make this economy keep churning if we don't invest in our local entrepreneurs. So cheers to you. Thank you for being here and see you next week on Book Club Corner.